Hey everybody, welcome to Candy Coated Conversations with your girl Candice here. And as always, Mrs. Tamika, heavy on the Scott. Hey Tamika, how you doing today, girl?
Hi, Candy. I'm
Hey,
well.
hey. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see who's early birding today. Who's early birding in the room today? Let's say hello to everybody. Let's see. Hey Sharon, how are you? Hey, voracious one.
Hey,
Let's
Miss
see. Ravish,
Sharon.
yeah. Ravishing Rashonda's here. Hope you
Hey.
ladies had a wonderful, wonderful day. And thank you guys for bringing in the evening with us. Thank you so much. So glad to have you here. So, look, we're going to get right into our little, as we let, people come in the room, we're going to get right into our little trending topics. We start off, have some laughs to see what these celebrities, are up to and see what they got going on before we get into our topic of the day. I did let her know, she didn't have to be here on time because, we are going to have our little hot topic segment. But Miss Marla Thomas, as you guys know, friend of the show, is going to be coming through, and we're going to be discussing, plastic surgery. You guys, sometimes we all love seeing the good results, but what if something goes wrong? What are you going to do? And let's see how, let's just discuss that with Marla. Okay, so let's get into our celebrity gossip. I'm going to go into a couple things that were sent to me by Katina. Thank you, Katina. And the first thing that I'm going to show is now, I will say this. I will say this. And you guys put your opinion in the chat because this Jaguar right lady, I think she knows some things, but I also feel like she's dragging it. I ain't gonna lie. I think she knows some things from in the past and when she was kind of in the limelight. Hey, Gold Digger, when she was in the limelight, and in with all the industry folks and things like that. But I'm not gonna pull no punches here. I think she knows some things from the past, but I'm not sure how much she knows about things that are currently going on with these celebrities' lives, like she tries to say she does. I'm just not sure about that. I don't know how confident I am in somebody that like literally comes around on YouTube channels for cash apps and things like that. Like how I don't know. I just don't know. I think she's dragging it for all these new people that she thinks that she knows all the tea on. But we're gonna entertain it a little bit. Okay, Sharon says, I like Jag. She gives small doses. Okay, okay. Like I said, I think she knows some things in the past. I just don't know how current all her tea is. So let's get into this little bit of tea that she's talking about, and y'all tell me y'all's opinion. This is a little wild, but let's take a listen. Let's look and listen and see what y'all think about this. Okay. And once again, this is alleged, alleged, alleged.
So then after that, we run into Bigfoot from Nicki Minaj. Did you hear Bigfoot?
I mean, I already know Megan done ate Onika box.
Oh,
I seen the video.
Jag!
I seen the
Oh,
video.
Jag!
Megan ate the Onika box for the 16 feature. I seen the video. She done it at the house
No,
where Zoo lives.
no,
And they and she moved out with the
no,
Papa Bear.
no.
Yeah. Look, pass me the sage. I seen that shit.
No.
That was disturbing.
No.
I seen the video.
No.
I lied to you not.
No. Nikki.
Look, y'all believe that? Do y'all really believe that? So it says Jaguar Wright claims that Nosy Ho sent her a video of Meg giving Nikki top for a feature. Somebody in the comments says, this how I know somebody lying. You mean to tell me someone has a tape of Nikki getting, that done until now the tape has not been given to the public or it hasn't got out? I ain't never heard nobody speak on this but Jaguar. Can that be real?
Mm.
What you think? What you think, Tamika? Hey, Linda P.
Hi, Linda P. My whole thing is okay. I could agree with you on, maybe some of her stories is more sarcastic than real. Like they may be real, but she may be adding 10 on 100. So I mean 100 on 10. So I do think that she stretches her, like this story right here. This sounds like a made up lie.
Just a made up lie. Like you didn't win on somebody's show and you need to get some clicks and views. And best believe she ain't on the show for free. She not on the show for free. Y'all already know. Look, if y'all been in circles we been in, look, she'll be the main one to start that. My cash app ain't cash app. She'll tell you that in a minute when she go on your show. And if you ain't giving and supporting and sending off money and stuff like that, it's like, come on now. So I think she's dragging it. I think she's dragging it. I don't think you've seen no such thing at all. So let's get to this next story here, y'all. It says somebody dropped their kids off and dipped. Let's see what they're talking about here.
Hey. So, Mark, I was showing a friend that I used to talk to all dark skin people with dreads. You don't remember his name? I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name.
Well, I don't know. This ain't telling me much, but it's something. It says apparently the police were called and the mom was found. Uh, what y'all? Look, is that man's kids? Is he lying to us? And those really his kids?
I
Because he
want
sure didn't say nothing. He is yes. Sharon said that house looking the way it does is crazy. Yes, look like you drop your kids off at somebody's trap house. Hey, Valid Queen, welcome to the chat. So I don't know what's going on with that. So yeah, I y'all think she gonna get charged? Look, that one lady dropped her kids off. We got to do an update on her too because I've been seeing a lot of stories about that. Yeah, yeah, and to just to see what's going on. So let's see this. It says she caught her boyfriend laid up with another woman, so she had the Uber driver help her. Let's see what she's talking about. Let's see.
outside somebody motherfucking crib. I don't put up and gave my ass on. Well, yeah, I got Starbucks and everything, y'all. Put up to this nigga house trying to find out why the fuck he not answering the phone. Thought about him, bought him Starbucks, y'all. I come in his window, y'all. He in the bed with a bitch. I'm finna show y'all.
Y'all look, there he is. He laid up.
Y'all, I'm
They sleeping
outside,
good.
cold, shivering, y'all. Like it's cold as
wait.
fuck
She
out here,
looked
y'all.
through the
Watch this.
window.
I'm gonna go get
Yes.
these motherfucking drinks and I'm gonna open them and I'm gonna throw them in that motherfucking window and I'm
No,
gonna come
that's
back in this car and you grab this motherfucking Tesla so fast. Do you hear me? Y'all. I'm getting out the Tesla. I got the Starbucks for this thirsty ass bitch. He wanna be thirsty with a bitch. Look at my fat ass outside.
Okay.
Somebody thirsty ass bitches.
oh,
We go. We go. Pull out. Pull out. We
pull up.
go. They look dirty ass. They thirsty.
When I want my lick back.
Oh my goodness. Look. Look, he lucky that's all she did is throw them drinks because some people ain't got no sense. Hey, Coco, some people don't have a lick of sense and they would have went in there and jumped on both of them, and it just would have been on and popping. So, everybody involved is lucky that it went the way that it went. So let me see here. Let me see. Let's get to see what's going on with these folks out here. We're going to start with the shade room, y'all. Now, I don't know how many of you guys listen to her music, but I'm clicking on this because sometimes I do listen to her music. So, singer Halsey reveals she has been battling illness. Um, it says, ooh, it says Halsey reveals that she has been battling an illness.
Oh,
In her post, she tagged lupus and leukemia research pages. The singer
Candy,
does not, yeah,
we don't see it. We see the
oh, there we
other.
go. There we go. It says, singer Halsey reveals she's been battling illness. It says in the post that she made, she tagged lupus and leukemia research pages. The singer does not explicitly say what she was diagnosed with. So just sending out prayers to her, sending some prayers. I know she's a relatively new mother, maybe in the last year or something like that. So prayers out to her. She said, long story short, I'm lucky to be alive. Short story long, I wrote an album. It begins with the end out now. Okay. Yeah. You get everybody emotional and you plug your album, but okay. So let's see. Here's something else. It says Martin Lawrence tells fans stop the rumors and he confirms that he is well and in good health. So why they saying something about Martin Lawrence? Let me see what he says here.
Your health. Is there anything you
Yes,
want to say to them while you have the floor?
I'm fine. I'm in God's hands. I'm blessed. You know, I'm glad to be waking up every day and everything. No need for people to be concerned. And I'm healthy as hell. Stop the rumors.
Yo, leave me the alone, man. I'm chilling. Is there anything you want to say to the people? Because
Now I ain't gonna lie. His voice sound like it's a little off to me. I don't know. It and somebody in the comments did say that it sounds like he had a stroke. His voice sounded a little off to me. So I don't know, what's going on there. But I wish him the best. I mean, if he says nothing is wrong with him, you know what? Leave that man alone, stay out his business. We have no choice but to take what he says. And he said until he wants to reveal anything else. So I mean, shout out to you, Martin Lawrence, and
And
wish you the best.
it may be because of old age and things like that. Like, well, it do look like something's wrong with him when he filmed that commercial or like that ad, and I'm like, okay, he looked kind of off. But we
Mhm.
have to. Okay, this man is old. I mean,
How old is Martin Lawrence? Don't be coming for Martin. How old is Martin? Martin might be the same age. Look, don't come for us to be. How old is somebody put in chat? How old is Martin Lawrence?
I'm gonna just go on mute because you want to say. Let me go on mute.
Okay, look. Another day, another essay offender spotted. And you know what? All these creepy men, they need to be called out and caught. They really do. All creepy men need to be called out and caught. So it looks like it says here the dream denies our word and S battery accusations. I am deeply offended and saddened by these accusations. So let's see what this story is. My God.
And he 59, Candy.
Oh, okay. He 59. All right. So it says, as previously reported, the Dream's former protege, Shanaz Mangro, has accused him of R word and S battery, and he has since responded to the allegations. In a statement provided to the New York Times by his rep, the Dream denied the accusations and said, I oppose all forms of harassment and have always strived to help people realize their career goals. As someone committed to making a positive impact on my fellow artists and the world at large, I am deeply offended and saddened by these accusations. As previously reported in Mangrove's lawsuit, she alleged that the Dream made promises to promote. Oh God, here we go. See, you know what? I gotta pause for a second because it's always something when they making these allegations and calling people out that you wanted something and you trying to benefit something. You know, I, that's what does it for me. It's like, oh, you were promised something, you wanted something, now the allegations are here. That's what draws me, and makes me pause, like, okay, I got to hear the rest of this before I just really go on this man. But I will go in if I see picture proof. I don't mind telling it if I see proof that you've been a creep. So I'm all for calling out somebody when they a creep. So yeah, that's my stance. But let's see. It says, as previously reported in Mangrove's lawsuit, she alleged that the Dream made promises to promote her career and trapped her in an abusive relationship. She alleged that he forced her to have, relations repeatedly and strangled her, made a video recording of an intimate encounter, and threatened to show it to other people. So, creeps all around, just creeps. Ugh. And then what kills me, the main creeps be trying to talk about other creeps. You a creep. Why you talking about other people being a creep?
Right. Creep versus creep.
Yeah, creep versus creep. Oh my goodness. And with that being said, I'm going to switch back over since we're talking about creeps. And let me bring this up. Coco sent me a little tidbit. So let me show this to y'all real quick. So it says, seeing that video is extremely triggering. Hashtag Dr. Dre punched, slammed, kicked, and stomped me out. Hashtag concussion. Logging the F out. And this is by D Barnes. Everybody knows that this happened to D Barnes back in the 90s or whatever. Was it the late 90s? And somebody had a comment here. It said, these comments just verify how Black women are really not supported at all. Trauma is real, and so are triggers. Would you tell a soldier who suffers PTSD to not make it about themselves when they respond to a gunshot sound or a backfiring of a car? Why would you tell a woman who has been beaten to shut up about her own triggers about it? Y'all really need some help. And someone else said Dr. Dre is another one in the industry whose abuse has been hidden for decades. He's been beating women for so long. One by one, they all need to get exposed and held accountable. And look, and that's just not men in the industry, creeps in the industry and outside of the industry too. No matter where they are, YouTube, all over the place needs to be exposed. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's see what else we got going on. Mm. So it says the Shade Room obtains exclusive statement from two of Miami's most decorated cops who are now on the run. What is this about? Oh, is this the Bad Boys movie?
Yes, it comes out on Friday. I'm streaming on Saturday, guys. Candy, I can't hear you. What happened?
Now this is a good promo because I was can't play that. They got on it. Nothing. It's a promo. It's a promo for Bad Boys. Hey Babs, it's a promo for Bad Boys. So okay, so we're gonna skip around to that. Let's see. Now it says Trina opens up about the status of her relationship with Nicki Minaj, Queen of Rap, comments, and more. So let's see what she said.
Like, seriously my butt off for this album. All the features on the album, from Miss Kelly Price to Nicki Minaj to Two Chains to Lil Wayne to everybody that was on the album. Um, and we got this far, and you guys came to me and said, "This is the record we put out as a single." So once you said that, it gassed me up.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna do my cause and reach out and make sure my part is done. So you don't have to do all the extra work. I'm just gonna hit her up myself, but I'm gonna send you what she's saying so we can get the proper people to handle it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they didn't do it. They dropped the ball, and I just felt the way. And so yeah, when that happened, somebody that was working with me on my team had, I don't know if they went live or was it Vigo? What was happening at the time? Was it live?
It was, well, this person said, I believe he called Nicki Minaj
I worked like seriously.
manipulative, and I'm with you. I don't know if it was a live or a tweet.
I don't know if it was a live or was it on or social media or Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember so ideally what it was.
Yeah.
But I just remember it. Everybody just like hitting me up, ringing me up. And when I saw it, I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, and his response was like, I'm just feeling mad because we did all this work and we got this song and she's not helping out and she's not. And I was like, you're wrong. It don't work like that. You're on this side, but you're not on the business side. Mm-hmm. You just on partially creative side, but you're not cutting no checks. Okay. So therefore, I felt like this is my team. Everybody that was working for me on this side was blindsided like me. I felt like he acted out of emotion, but you don't act out of emotion on live against a celebrity that's somebody that I know, that I have a relationship with, a friendship with.
Right, you're
You
friends
was
with her.
wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put you in your place.
Manipulator, manipulative.
Just lost.
Mm.
Like I was lost. And I didn't want to like
She's talking about the loss of her mother.
feel like that with like my friends, like the entertainers and celebrities. And I feel like because we all have a life and we all have stuff we got to deal with. And, you know, well, I don't know how long that's been. Well, when she lost her dad, I reached out to her. So I think that was like the last time I kind of, and it's like giving space. It's a
Yes, for
lot.
sure.
You just
Yeah.
don't know how a person feel. And, um, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like went missing a lot from a lot of people, you know? I think about it sometimes, but I honestly, well, like, I just really felt like, I don't know, life was about to over when my mom passed away. Like, I didn't really care. I checked out, kind of. I
Yeah,
really
and
checked
listen,
out.
I lost my mom.
Just lost. I spoke to
Okay.
her in a while.
What's a while?
A while.
Like a years?
Well,
He really trying to drag this and make this about Nikki. Like
I
she
would
already addressed
say,
it. Why are y'all still talking about it?
yeah, probably a little bit over a year or so, maybe longer. Well, we came off the pandemic. My mom passed in 2019, 2021. So maybe since maybe like a year or 2. hmm And I mean, after my mom, honestly, and you like,
Okay, she's
damn, I'm
taking.
proud. Like you,
And you did
Oh,
this interview. They asked you who paved the way for rap,
oh my
female
God.
rap,
No, that's not what they said. They asked me who is
the queen of rap.
yes, and I
Yes.
said the Queen Bee Beyonce. They didn't say now. If they would have said who. All right, give me your top 5 queens. Okay, I'm going to give it to the girls always.
Yeah.
But when you say first of all, I'm fresh off the Renaissance tour. Let's be very clear.
And listen, and like all of us, you are
No, no, no.
Beyonce stan.
No, I'm stand
Yes.
out. So when you ask it, it's like, cause people, you can't deny or take credit from nothing that Beyonce do. I just love Beyonce. It was in the hype of the moment. I'm off stage fresh. I'm doing all these interviews. I just finished performing. They asked about that. Did you get a chance to see the Renaissance concert or go, whatever? I was like, what do you mean? Yes, I love it. When, I'm in the moment. And then after that, well, who do you feel like is the queen of rap? Queen Beyonce, duh. Like, it's gonna be Beyonce over everybody to me. I just love Beyonce. Like, she's a top tier, upper echelon. She pushes the envelope beyond envelopes. And
you did this interview. They
I
asked you
miss you,
who paved the way
Marla.
for rap,
oh
for
my
female
God.
hey
rap.
No,
Marla.
that's not what they said. They
Hey
asked
guys,
me
I'm listening.
who is
Okay, so yeah, that's enough for that. Looks like they had like, dang, if you invite somebody for an interview, can you really talk about that person and their accomplishments and achievements? You made the whole interview about Nicki Minaj, but I mean, okay, she participated in the conversation. Hey Marla.
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all. Okay, so now guest is in the building, you guys. So we're gonna pause on this
But
and let's
no,
get
guess
into
what, Candy? No, let's back
what?
up. I gotta weigh in
What?
on everything I hear.
Okay,
And
what happened?
I just have to say that this is a message to everybody. And when media training with entertainers existed, everybody knew this. If you are not okay with the direction of an interview, you do not participate.
Right.
Period. What you say is, unfortunately, I don't have any comment for that. Conversation over. So I practiced that BS on Love and Hip Hop for real.
Hmm.
It's like I'm not. If it, we want you to say such and such and such, I said I'm not saying that. I'm her mother. That's not what happened. So, all right, well then just say what you're gonna say, and we'll just deal with it from there. Okay. You bring me back to a green screen. I'm just saying you have more power than you think. And
Yeah.
media makes you feel like you have to respond to the moment. And in reality, you need to always respond to your truth. And if your truth is not being represented, just shut the hell up. And if you keep
Right.
on, I'm just gonna leave. Turn the cameras off. I'm out.
Right. The perfect is I'll have to pull it up because it was the funniest thing that I've ever seen where I've seen a celebrity, speak out against something like that. Do you guys remember? Put it in the chat if you remember. Do y'all remember when August Alsina first came on the scene, right? When he first came on the scene, everybody was rocking with him. And he went on 106 in Park and he told them that there was something about him and Trey Songz, and he said, "I'm not." He told them beforehand, "I'm not talking about this. Do not ask me about this." And sure enough, that lady asked him about this, and he stopped. He said, "Oh, so you just gonna go against the grain when I told y'all I wasn't talking about?" That was the funniest thing I ever seen because he didn't care about saving face. He didn't
Nope.
care about being professional. He stopped
Nope.
her dead in her tracks. It was the funniest thing I ever seen. So let me really quick. Let's welcome a few more people here, you guys. First, welcome new subscriber chocolate 0726. Welcome, thank you so much. T Love, hey lady, how you doing? Nice to see you. And hey Shamika. Okay. Oh,
And welcome to my coworker, Mrs. Jones. We've been working together for 7, going on 8 years. She wanted to see your content, so she liked.
oh wow, welcome. Nice to have you here. Okay, so you guys, topic of the night. Now, first of all, look, if y'all ain't ashamed to do it, if y'all not ashamed to do it, put it in the chat. Have you ever had any form of plastic surgery? And I was thinking about it. Look, I'm not, ashamed to say it or anything like that. And I guess it is considered plastic surgery. I had a breast reduction. I don't know. It was kind of useless because my boobs were still big. It's like dang. I said, dang. I should have got officially. You know how you be just buying bras at the store and you like take the size and like, okay, this is what my size. But even when I had the reduction, I was still a D cup. So it was kind of futile. But look, it was some nice D's, like D's where you could go braless and all kind of stuff like that. So I mean, I could dig that. But I guess that's the only form, that I've ever had.
But
Has
it is,
anyone?
but it is plastic surgery. So I'm
Yes,
glad
it is.
you qualified that way.
Yes.
Any
Any
elective
surgery.
surgery that's not medical that will save your life in
Mm-hmm.
any kind of way or will literally deal with a medical condition is considered elective surgery.
Elective
Elective
surgery.
surgery is plastics or not. Like some of it is not plastic. Some of it is, some elective surgeries are just, if you choose to do this, you can do it. But the reality is, I'm glad that you qualified that. Hey,
Yes,
Shamika.
yes. Yeah, because I'm gonna be real honest with you. I wanted it done, but those boobs wasn't hurting my back. I told him I told him it was hurting my back. I look, I'm gonna admit I committed a little fraud. They wasn't hurting my back like that, but I just said, yeah, they hurt my back. And the thing of it is, and what's so funny, of course, the big boobs come from my mama. So she had it done. And what kills me with some people when they get plastic surgery, they always want to point out that you need to go do it too. Ooh, yeah, Janice, you ought to get some of that taken off. You ought to go get some of that taken off. And I'm just
Hilarious.
like, look, before before you did yours, you had nothing to say. But now I should go get some of mine taken off. But I did do that. So I did have that elective surgery. But let's get into we want to talk about you and your experience because sometimes there are some negative ramifications of plastic surgery. So, the first thing that I'd like to ask you, can you tell us what exactly you had done? Hey, Amazingly Meek, what did you have done? And was it elective or was it medically necessary? And what got you to the place where you said, hey, I would like to get this fixed?
Well, you
Tell
asked
us.
several questions,
Mm-hmm.
and the I can give you a sequence of answers. I
Yes.
believe what you're asking me is because my if you go on my Instagram, Marla Talks, there's a whole story that I posted on Quora, wherein I had elective surgery in January of 2021
Mm-hmm.
that almost took my life.
Oh, wow.
But prior to that, this is interesting. First plastic surgery I ever had was my youngest daughter's 31, so she was 1. So 30 years ago. And I was very determined, like I knew. I was like, okay, I told my husband, I'm young and I'm I'm a clown. So I'm like, I've had these kids and I went and by the way, I have to say this because this is important, but please don't take my story. Please, you will disgrace life, the story and women if you put everybody in one category of somebody else's mental process. I gotta say that. Because I hear all kind of things and I'm like, that's not it. That ain't it. That's not true. But I knew for me that my plastic surgery journey had nothing to do with my husband's disapproval or any it was never about a man wanting me or not wanting me or making a suggestion that you should fix that. It's never that for me.
Mhm.
It's a personal thing for me. It's about me. It was for me. And when I had my first surgery, I had had 3 children by the age of 24.
Mhm.
And I would I used to model. And when Dave came home from off the road, and again I do every we're jokers by nature. And he was like, "Honey, what's been going on? You guys have been doing a lot." Now, mind you, this is 30 some odd years ago. This is before cell phones and internets and all these things. And I said, he said, "How many modeling gigs?" Because I was doing catalog modeling in Nashville. I said, I did a centerfold while you were gone. There's the cover shoot right there on the table. He was like, "Oh my God, that's awesome. Let me see it." He went over to the coffee table and it was a National Geographic with some like native African woman with like flapjack breasts. And I said, "That's me. I'm,
What? God.
I said, "That's me." He said, "Oh, you got jokes." And I was like, "No, for real, I need to have surgery." Because by then I was probably a full BC before having Moniece. Then when my with nursing and pregnancy, and for women who know, and so
Yeah.
by the time my milk came in, I was a double D. It was like ridiculous, like the fevers and the whole thing. They had to like put compresses on me and all of that stuff. So after baby one, I went from a full BC to an A ish. And then with the baby two, with my son, it was a saggy A. And then it was like with baby three, it was like, okay, forget this junk. So I said to Dave, I said, "Listen, you want to keep having kids, for us to have these kids." I said, "When I'm done having kids, I need to just put myself back together. I'm too young to feel like when I look in the mirror that I'm, 85. What? I'm 24 years old. Like what?" And
Yeah.
I didn't want to be, and for me, my story is a little bit different because nothing that I thought for myself, not to mean that it's wrong or right for anybody else, but I have to say these things because it's super important because it's about a woman's psyche. For me, I just did not want to be, um, I, there was something in me that just could not rest with just like, this is a natural thing of life, but there's an option here. And I just wanted to be put back where I started. Period.
Right.
So I
I
didn't
get
have
it.
body dysmorphia. So my big thing with my plastic surgeons was always, hey, if I wake up and I can't see my feet, I'm fighting. Those were words. Like before I went under anesthesia to have my augmentation, my breast augmentation, I said that. He's like, "Well, is there any last things?" And Dave was right there, and I said, "If I wake up and I can't see my feet, I'm jacking everybody up as soon as I get strong enough. So just run away." Because I had no desire to have, and I went through the whole thing. I'm athletic, blah 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 blah. Like I
Yeah.
just want right,
You
right,
wasn't
because
trying to go. You wasn't trying to come out looking like
I
Dolly
didn't
Parton.
I
You
didn't want
wasn't.
that. But
Yeah.
but but to be honest, a lot of the times in someone's mind, the extremes do exist. So I had the surgery, first surgery in um when Moniece, when Lexi was one, so she's 31, and that was my first cosmetic surgery, and everything went well. Then I had to have a second breast job 7 8 years later when I was visiting my cousin in UNC and fell over a wire in the street, like the wire that's posted on the street. And they were like, gotta come with us to the Halloween party. And we were, walking the street and I didn't see it. And it when I went to fall, I grabbed it and swung underneath it, but it like cut underneath the breast, and I could have sworn I had a leak. I was like, okay, because remember that was right during the time where all the talk with silicone was like a thing,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So my first breast implant set was saline, which was really salt water. And when I went to check the rupture, they were like, "We're gonna just go ahead and replace these implants, but you're a candidate for silicone, which was way better, and which is what I have still now. And it's been years and years and years and years, but silicone felt natural, according to, if you could imagine, water, salt water. Sloshes around and it's ripples and does all kind of stuff. So that's why I was like, I don't know if I would do it
Is it me or y'all there?
Yeah, I'm here, but Marla faded out for me. Okay, so while we can't hear Marla right now, but let's look at some of these comments. So let's see. Let's see. Let's look at the comments. And yes, thank you guys for the reminder. You guys, if you didn't like the video on your way in, please take a second to do that. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So let's see. Let's start with Ravishing Rashonda said, I have been thinking about getting my stomach done. Okay. T Love is thanking Marla for sharing with us. And hopefully Marla's sound will be back up in a moment. Okay, here she is. There we go. Marla, you there? Okay, can't hear you, Marla, but you're up here twice. One of those is going to work in just a second. We're just doing some comments while we wait for you. So, Tamika is saying, Ravishing, I want my boobs done, but I'm scared. Ravishing said, I'm scared as well. T Love says, I want the bags under my eyes done. I hate them. And Heavy says, T Love, that's my insecurity, quiet as it's kept. I wear lashes to deflect. And then I'm coming in, I'm saying, don't be scared to get the tatas reduced if that's what you want to do. So,
See,
because you know what, at this point, you guys, breast reduction surgery is something that's kind of normalized. It's like, oh, people get that done all the time. So it's not a scary thing as well. And yeah, consider it, the thing of it is, she dropped down, she'll be back up. She'll be back up. So the thing of it is, there's certain surgeries that aren't even, they're normalized now. So and standard to where they're very safe and things like that. But you can still run into some dangers. Welcome back, Marla. Can we hear you? Let's see.
I
Eh,
hope you can. Can you guys
Yeah,
hear me?
yes, we
yes,
can.
thank
That
you.
was that was very weird.
Okay,
Um,
back to it.
yeah. So anyway, so what I'm so basically, once you have, and this is where I left off, that once you have successful plastic surgery and you are mentally well, and I have to say it that way, plastic surgery becomes an option for something that is a fix. So, for example, I'll say this, because I was a trainer at a pretty high level for a pretty long time, I got a lot of people who came to me with weight loss surgery. And Marla, I'm thinking about what, I wanted to counsel with you. What do you think? And I said, listen, you're right now, your mind is fat. And please don't take that offensive, but I mean, and I'll continue to explain. So hopefully you'll understand the compassion in it. But my statement was, I need you to spend 3 months on a routine, 3 months of eating correctly and working out correct, moving your body and doing things, because if you don't, it's in your head. You have to, so in other words, it's not really there's no quick fix. So what I would suggest is once you lose some weight, if you have a problem area, which is how I see plastic surgery. I
Hmm.
had an issue. I'm never gonna get the fullness back in a breast that has gone from a B cup to a triple D and then nurse children. Not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I got a problem area. Like that's not me just going, oh, I just hate myself and I just want to, look like a doll. And no, this is not right. Like this is not right for my own psyche.
Hmm.
And so, yes, that is the natural issue of childbirth, and that's fine. But for me, that was too young. I was too young to feel the way I was feeling.
Yeah. 24 is young
24 is
to
very
have been
young.
happy with your body before, and then now I'm unhappy with my body
Hmm.
because I've had some kids. And that 24 years old is a long time to say, okay, I'm just gonna deal with this, until I'm 60. And if you
And
have the opportunity to fix it, why not? Why
right,
be unhappy?
right.
Yeah. So I definitely get that.
And that was that was huge for me, because I didn't even recognize. I was too young to even understand the value or the confidence in what I had. So put it to you this way: the first time I ever put a bikini on, I was 32.
Oh wow.
Go get on that. So for me, it wasn't about, it was just just recognizing, okay, you're okay. You know why? Because there's stretch marks. So you're like, okay, well, I'm good, but I'm not going there. So these internal confidence conflicts existed in me. And so I'll fast forward, had my surgeries, lived my life, went trained, did all that, was always a natural human, meaning I never did steroids or anything of the sort.
Hmm.
And then got into the conundrum of the last 5 years of my life, which was just, I can't tell you the amount of stress and just, oh my God, ish. Then menopause hits. And I'm like, okay, all the things you know to do, and then you also are mentally in a place. So one day I got a bride. I was actually, to be totally truthful, and I'm gonna leave people nameless, but I went um, to another appointment, a beauty appointment, and that was at a nail shop. And the suggestion was, "Hey, oh my God, I just went to Miami. I did my surgeon, blah 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 blah." I said, "Really?" Now I had been kind of thinking, well, maybe I should just, give myself a head start and do what I've done in the past, which was that. And I went to a consult in Los Angeles with a very prominent doctor in LA, and his price tag was $24,000. I said, "Wait,
Oh wow.
what?"
Hmm.
I said, "What?" So now I'm like, okay, well, I was looking to do skin tightening and skinny fat transfer, and I went to Miami based on a recommendation for a friend. Now, I'm plastic surgery and sushi in my world go hand in hand. I don't even dawn a sushi table until I've had two recommendations from people that I know have eaten there. I'm the same with plastic surgery, but I'm like that. So like I'm the person that I've my particular surgeons have operated on at least six of my friends. They're all
Okay.
happy, but they're
So
all
so
happy.
you're taking personal recommendations. You're not
Period.
going into this
Period.
willy-nilly. You're
Period. I don't look at
researching your provider and all of
correct.
that. Okay.
Correct. Correct. That's me. So because this was somebody close to me who seemed to have had a successful experience, I thought, oh, no big deal. Went through through my insurance and did all my stuff and EKGs and everything you needed to do pre-op. And I said, Dave was like, "Are you sure you don't want anybody to go with you?" I said, "I'm fine. It's no, it's, I didn't even think it would be a big deal because I so heal fast." I'm like, "Oh, it doesn't even matter." And because, to be totally, again, I have to. I can't sleep if I'm not transparent with myself. Because this was during the time that I was in the middle of my beef with my daughter.
Mhm.
The first time ever. Other than that, it would have been public. I didn't because I was like, okay, she's just out for blood. And no matter what I do, it's gonna be, she's determined to destroy my character. It's in her hands. This information is gonna be a nightmare. So I went in an anonymous mode, so much so they were going to gift me the plastic surgery if I did it they would do it for free if I was willing to promote it. And I said, no, I'll pay.
Okay.
So I went to this particular doctor. His name is Oliver Simmons. I'm going to tell it on this podcast or on this live because it's not worth it for anyone to go down this road with do it, but not with this dude because now I know he has a body count. That's real. Why do I know? Because I tried to sue him. Their legal stuff is so ironclad that I was unable to actually get grip on the lawsuit. And even though he burned me from the inside out. So I go there January 15 by myself. Um, Ironically, I was supposed to have surgery on the 16th, and he calls me. I'm in town. I'm in Miami, and he goes, "Hey, you know, he's got an opening. Are you willing to be the last person for the day?" I'm like, "Well, I don't have anything else to do in Miami. Why not?" So I go in. He meets me. Hey, blah blah blah. I was referred by such and such, so and so. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, they're taking an awful long time. And my brain got concerned at the time, but I thought, well, I mean, he's a surgeon. He's got to know his capabilities. And I go into this surgery, and when they anesthetized me, put me to sleep, I've never in my life, I've had 3 cesareans and 3 plastic surgeries prior, have had an experience like that. When I went out, it was so violent that I just remember clenching and just being like biting my jaw, like, oh my God, like it was violent. Like, and when I came to, I thought, am I dead? Literally. I thought,
So just
oh,
to confirm, you didn't even feel like they even put you under
they
correctly.
didn't.
They
No,
didn't get
no,
that.
they didn't. No, no, no. And I didn't feel. I know what I'm talking about. They absolutely did not.
Mhm.
I was slammed to sleep. Slammed. Normally they count you back. Okay, Marla, all right, count from 10. Can you count from 10 to 1 or 1 to 10? And you start counting, and by the time you're 3 counts in, you're gone. You don't even until you wake up. I was like, oh, I was just remember everything in my body just tensing. Like, oh Lord, like, oh. And so when I came to, they were like, okay, you're wake up, okay, we got to get you ready. Your ride is here. And they set me up, and I thought, oh my God, I'm dead. There was so much blood and fluid. I'm not joking, like a bucket's worth that came off that table that I immediately felt like there can't be anything left in my body. Like now I realize I'm awake, but what the hell? Like what? And I said, what? Because it sloshed onto the floor, like, like if somebody would just sweep off like fluid, like just, yeah, here you go. And it hit the ground. They had put me in my faja while I was done, while I was under, and they picked me up and put me in a wheelchair, in which they took me to the van of the home that I was staying in, which is a recovery home, which they were fantastic. And they put you in the van and you're laying face down. And, you know, my metabolism and personality fights anesthesia like a buffo. Period. That's who I am. I don't want to be under. So to give you an example, in my cesareans, I had the first one unexpectedly with Moniz. I had the second one with my son by plan, by schedule. And I said, do not put any more epidural in that. Thank you. I'm good. And I took staples out at home 3 days later on my own with my mother. I refuse to let them give me any more drugs. I'm like, I'm good. And I fight to go under and I fight to be back awake. I'm like, I just don't want this. Like, I'm not a crier. I just am like, let me get on with life. And I was placed face down in the van. But the next day, so you start with lymphatic massages the very next day. And I had to take a painkiller to do the massage. And I was like, oh my Lord. So I ended up 5 days in that it was kind of weird because I was like, I didn't feel that I was really recovering correctly. But again, I have to get back to LA. I live in Los Angeles. I'm in Miami and I'm by myself. And then to make bad matters worse, a couple of the girls in the recovery home started recognizing who I was. So then they were in my room and I was like, oh, I just gotta get,
Yeah, that
please.
must have been uncomfortable.
You have
Yeah.
no idea. I was like, just Lord, please, Lord, just let me get out of here. So I checked myself into a hotel the night before I was gonna fly. I had, all the accoutrements, the pillows, and the blah 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 blah. And I would do the massages, but and I was like gushing blood. And I wish I'd sent you a picture prior to, but feel free to go to my Instagram because the story's on there, and you can
Well,
see that they.
we will take a pause. What about we take a pause because I do have it pulled up.
All right.
Hey Dan, you're welcome, and you can tell us. But I want you guys. The
Well,
pictures are a little choppy,
let
but
me say
this is with healing.
yeah, let me say this before you pull it up. If this is graphic sensitive material, so if you have any sensitivity, please be informed that this is not content that you should see. I have to responsibly tell you that because I
Okay.
posted it because I intend for this doctor to never touch another soul. Let somebody else do it, but not this dude. Which is
Right.
why I'm cool to say what it is because if I always my thing is if I can stop somebody from going through a horrific life experience that I've been through, then I will. But go ahead. So I was going to say
Absolutely.
they were pulling 100 cc's of fluid out of me
Okay. So
that
I'm
saved
going
my
to
life.
present the pictures. And the very first one, you guys, I want you to keep in mind that this is with some type of healing going on. So imagine when this is fresh, but Marla can explain what we're looking at. Okay. So let me pull this up. And if you want to explain things, but this is it right here. Now, is there more? Because this is the only one I saw.
Miss Marla, you're muted.
Are you muted, Marla? Yeah, you're muted. Something may be going on. But hopefully you guys can see that because it's just a
No,
little
okay. So
clip
what
that
so what I was saying is that one picture to the left is before and that other picture is after. But that's after it healed, but I want why is Candy, are you on my IG?
well, this is the one that I saw,
Okay,
so
so
I
Candy,
saved it. So I would,
You know what you need to do right quick because I know
mhm.
you probably can. Go to Marla underscore talks and find the same post.
Okay, so you continue with the discussion
All
while I
right, so
find that.
you do
Okay.
that. So you go find that same situation. So bottom line is, I now have to fly back to Los Angeles on a nonstop flight from Miami, and the day I check into a hotel the night before and I take off everything and I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? And it looked like a burn, which hopefully Candy pulls this up because I can take you in succession. It's pretty raw. But I thought, because mind you, you're being handled while you're out. So there's a lot of that when I got ready to take a shower, which I did right away in the rehab, I mean in the recovery home, you're bruised. It's a lot of bruising. You're bruised. I was bruised under my armpits. I was bruised on the side of my breast. I was bruised everywhere. My hips, my butt. I was bruised, like dark bruising. So I saw that, but I thought it was bruising on my stomach. I'm like, oh, I'm just bruised. So I'm like, okay. So here we go. And then I got there. You go. Okay, there. Now we're talking. Those are the pictures we need to see.
Okay.
All right, you got it. So there's going to be a lot. They're all going to come forward on this. There you go. There's another
Oh,
one.
wow.
Okay.
Wow, Marla.
So this continued to develop. So what you see underneath, if you pause that, you see underneath the so that was they had burned me from the inside out. And that pocket you see is fluid.
Right here in this area.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to withdraw. They were withdrawing more than 100 cc's of serous fluid out of that to keep me alive daily, like with the syringe, like
And here it is right
that.
here.
Yeah,
It'll
yes,
go, it'll go back around, you guys. But yeah.
yeah. So that's so I was like, oh my goodness. So now, by the way, I'm calling the doctor, and I'm remiss that I did not send this to you because I can actually post the conversation I was having with the doctor, who was telling me come back to Miami and let me. And I said, wait a minute, no. Then he went ghost, and so on top there's a scar, on the side there's a scar, and so of course it doesn't look exactly the same now as it did because you know Dr. Grossman, God bless him, he was Michael Jackson's burn surgeon, and he's my doctor, and so he was working with me um, during this process, and still, because now I have to go through all kind of additional reconstructive surgeries. Um, but the most important part was I almost lost my life. And I'm just sharing it with everybody who even think about it. Plastic surgeons are most protected because you sign all the consents because you think it's going to be good. And it didn't.
And think about it. They make you sign all those consents before you've ever done anything. So it's
Correct.
like you're basically giving them carte blanche to do whatever, and then you're signing away and saying, "Okay, whatever goes wrong, I'm not going to blame you for it.
Correct.
But if you want to get this done, you have to sign this."
Correct.
And that's how it is. Yeah.
And he, despite the fact that I almost lost my life, not only did I almost lose my life, I paid you to F me up.
Right.
Right. You didn't even you're not, and I'm like, listen, bro, I don't know what I'm not sure what you well he's laughing on the phone. I have video. I have it written. It's in text.
Laughing?
Well, what he said was, well, I guess in the future, I guess you're kind of turned off. You'll never do lipo again. I said, what? I said, I'll never do anything with you. Is this are you kidding? Is this ha 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 like you? And he said, well, he would FaceTime. Well, your shape is good. I said, I didn't come in here badly shaped. This is okay. And this was me saying, again, like my breast job, I just want to be put back where this is, no matter what I'm doing, it's not working.
Yeah.
So
Reiterate to us again what you went in there for them to do for you.
I went in there for them to do a uh, skin tightening, which is a laser process, which is like it's like a lipo laser, but and I say lipo lightly because, to be totally honest, I always am careful because I really wasn't overweight. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a heavy person at all. It was just me getting to the point where everything was kind of just ick, and there was a skin tightening, and they were going to take any fat that they had and just fill my butt. So they were going
Okay.
to do what they call a skinny BBL and a skin tightening in my abs, in my core, my torso. And they use a laser, and the laser burned me from the inside out. So what you saw prior to, which was the first pictures that you showed, that was me. Actually, that was me in Jamaica. I was with Vivica Fox at her birthday party. So that was probably, I don't know, 2 years maybe before that. So
And man, this is it's so sad because you know what? It's like, wow, I went in for something that I thought was going to be professionally done, and then you come out and you're it, is there a sense of the words escaping me now, but you know how you kind of beat yourself up a little bit, like, dang, I should have been content with what I had because
oh well,
compared.
there. I think that this was a big giant wake up call for me. So here's the thing that's interesting, and this is where I always bring things together. And I talk all the time in many different forms and in many different circumstances about being a victim. So once I got a grip of, oh shit, are you kidding? Then it was like, you know what, Marla? You took a chance. You're in 10% of all women. There's another young lady that I'm actually going to do a show with that was in my recovery home, and the same thing happened to her. She almost died, and but different doctor. But clearly, Miami is like, you know, a meat market. And I just said to myself, I can't. There's nobody to blame. I made a poor choice. It was a poor choice. Could I have done something different? Of course. Should I have done something different in retrospect? Absolutely. But I didn't. So here I am. So now the only thing I can do is warn somebody else. Hopefully somebody else will understand that there's another option that doesn't have to take them down this road. Um and just wake up every day and say to myself, I can't let this be the defining mistake of my life. There's still more. This happened, even this happened for a reason, but I made the choice. No one chose this for me. I chose it for myself. Matter of fact, my youngest daughter and my husband want to slap me because they were like, Lexi was like, Mom, what are you doing? People died. I was like, it's not that big of a deal. Literally. She's still mad at me. She's like, I told you. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it's not that deep. I'm good. You know, I'll be fine.
Well, since you brought up your husband and your youngest daughter,
Of course.
tell us about how this affected, your
Oh,
family during that time. Like when you're
well,
kind of literally fighting for your life. What effect did this have on your family?
my mother was instrumental in saving my life. Had it not been for my mother and Dr. Grossman, I absolutely would have died because you can't. My body wasn't processing that amount of injury internally. I was internally injured to this day. So let me just say this to everybody who's listening: the procedure is a laser that creates manually creates scar tissue that tightens your skin. I still get contractions. It's been 3 years. Rock hard, like poop, like that. It's uncomfortable, for the record. I just live with it, but I'm like, bleh. So, you know, my family is like, well, and again, this is where I consider myself in a blessed category because my family just loves me because I'm me. They don't, Dave could care less. Matter of fact, he's like, girl, get in here, blah, 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 blah. So he's joking. I'm like, dude, could you please just get off of me? But we joke. But the bottom line is my Dave doesn't, he's never, which even in the beginning, which is why I spoke up with the Jackie O thing, is because please don't always put it on a man trying to require you to change. If he could have, Dave and my ex, if they could have just, if I would have just listened to that and not had my own sense of this is what I want to do for me, then it was never any man in my life driving me to, you know what you should do? You should get implants. You know what you should do? You should get your butt done. You know what you should do? You should, no, I don't have that. So there are women who do, and my heart goes out, but neither, whether it's them or me, my heart goes out to all of us because sometimes we just through our own drive and insecurity or whatever we're dealing with, we make bad decisions. I made a freaking bad decision. It was a horrible decision, and the only grace that God gave me is that I didn't lose my life because I was there. When I tell you I was there, I was there. I thought I was dead. I was like, oh, I'm dead. For real. And so I can only come to all of you on any and every platform because, for those who don't know me who are listening to this, you know, I make my life transparently purposed to help someone else's life to understand A, what you're thinking and feeling, you're not by yourself. B, you're so not alone in this struggle that it's insane. And C, you know, too many of us have the same thing that we think and process, and no one speaks up because of shame. So you can't put heap more, what the hell did you think you were doing, on me than I did to myself. But maybe I can stop you from being there. Maybe I can send you to an alternative situation and deal with your hormone situation differently and deal with, your weight gain differently. Like, this is, yeah, I even have had friends that are like, man, of all people, we can't believe you did this because you've encouraged us to just not to not
Yeah,
actually
to
listen.
yeah, to be confident and just work
Literally,
out and things like that.
literally.
So then they're
And I,
feeling like, wow, you're the last person I thought that
yes,
would have any type of
yes,
insecurity to where you
yes,
would want to have surgery.
and when menopause hit, and I was just in a funk, like, you talk about depression, like all that stuff was happening with my family, and all that drama was going on with Moniece, and I just was in a there were I was overwhelmed to the point that I was like, I don't feel like myself. I literally, and it was like my brain went back to, well, this is how you fix it, because that was good for you before, like this, jump. This is like a cable card, like a cable. Just jumpstart, restart your battery, girl. Go ahead. And it was a mistake. Now,
So,
if it had turned
so
out right, would I have thought it was a mistake? Probably not.
probably not. And
Probably
because
not.
that's, it's not bad until it's bad. And so of course, yeah, you would have you would have been singing praises about the procedure had it gone the way that you wanted
Correct.
it to go.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that's the thing about it, because it's always just a chance that you take that something is going to go wrong.
Yes.
So
That's it.
what happened, and at what point did you say, I gotta sue this loon?
Oh,
What was that
immediately.
process like?
Immediately. Well, first of all, it was hard to get post treatment. So it was just the grace of God that, shout out to Dr. Grossman from the Burn Center in LA, that I had the connections that I had to be able to even get treated, because most people were not. They kept sending me to lymphatic masseuse, and I did like three. Um, Also, Teresa, shout out to Teresa, who was the one who's like, no, 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 we got to remove this fluid. And between Teresa, Dr. Grossman, and my mother, my life was saved, because everybody else was saying, "Oh, the fluid. No, the fluid will reabsorb." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" So you saw that picture? That's
Hmm.
not re freaking absorbing, bros. That's a pocket of fluid.
Uh-oh, you cut out. But I know the last thing you said. So while Marla's sound is coming back up, look, I see some people. Sharon said, I just changed my mind about the tummy. I'll just work out. Voracious one said, me too, Sharon. Valid Queen says, thank you for this awareness, Miss Marla. May God keep you well. Yes, amen. Because you know what? It's just as we said, had everything gone smoothly, this is what happens when things go smoothly. From what I've seen with a lot of people, when it goes smoothly and you get the results that you want, all that does is make you say, okay, I can change more, and I can change more, and I can change more. And that's why you see so many people going back for these repeat procedures. Sometimes they go back because they feel like, oh no, I didn't get the exact results that I wanted. But sometimes they're going back because they had a great procedure and it emboldens them to take chances and do procedures that they never even thought about doing before. But oh, this procedure went so well. You know what? I think I would like to change this. When it's like you really are playing, with the odds because when you keep going back, you're increasing your odds of something negative happening. Welcome back, Marla.
Hey,
Okay.
and let me tailspin on. Let me do a whiplash onto what you just said right there.
Mhm.
I happen to be an incredibly blessed person emotionally as a human. God just gave me that. But imagine the weight if you're already dysmorphic and you're struggling and this happens. I know
Mhm.
people who are beside themselves because they just can't get past the visual impact of of a mistake. They just can't. But for me, I'm like, shit, it's whatever. But because of that, I have to also say this that's interesting. I've always said the joke that I tell all the time is like, oh, I didn't even recognize you. Your hair is different. I'm like, listen, always pay attention to my nose because my face is unaltered. It will forever be unaltered. Period. Because
Mhm.
I don't know that I could live with the possibility of an error there. You know what I'm saying? This last situation has taught me that, it too could be you. Because I didn't even think that was possible. For there to be, a doctor that would be that careless and, you know, just reckless. I didn't even
and,
think
and
that was
crass and uncaring when he
for
messed up with someone.
for sure. For sure. Well, now I also, again, when you know that, when you learn that, which is why I call his name first and last in at the APS Surgery Center in Miami, is Dr. Oliver Simmons. Stay away because I also now know that he's lost lives. But even they, like even Jackie O, they lost their lawsuit because of the consents that you signed. You killed her, but then what?
Yeah, they do it ironclad. That's why these doctors are so Let me ask you this. What's your thought on, and then we're going to continue, but I want to get your thought real quick. What's your thought on the state of plastic surgery today when you see like for instance Rowley? I don't know if you know. Do you know who that is, Marla? Or have you ever seen anything in passing about this lady? But basically I can sum it up to you. An extremely obese woman who instead of focusing on fitness and losing some weight, losing a genuine good amount of weight, and then going in to fix. We know when you're extremely larger that your skin stretches and things like that, and that if you lose a drastic amount of weight that you may need to get some skin removed and things like that, but to never even consider maybe I should diet first and try to lose some weight first. And these doctors allow that. Why would you allow a morbidly obese woman to undergo plastic surgery and tummy tucks and things of this nature when you know the possibility of someone that size going in like that is extremely dangerous, but they don't care? What do you think about the state of plastic surgery now? Because how many years ago did your instance happen?
The last one happened in 2000, in January 15th, 2021.
Okay, 2021. But now it's like these doctors don't have any standards. It's
Oh,
like they don't
it's
they
definitely
don't
it's
they don't want
definitely
to tell
changed.
anybody. Yeah, they don't want to tell anybody, okay, you need to lose about 100 pounds and then come back and we're gonna see where you're at.
But
They don't
Candy,
want to tell anybody that.
can I say that you asked me what do I think about where we are with plastic surgery. So the question is this: even insurance, even insurance, plastic surgery. If you come to me for plastic surgery, it's a cash. You're a cash cow. It's not
Yeah.
generally covered. But for example, my daughter, the baby, just had a baby, and I'll let you guess, she had a standard delivery, no cesarean. She wasn't in the hospital more than 24 hours with a healthy delivery, with a healthy baby, and she was dismissed. Go ahead, give me the price tag. Go ahead. How much was the bill for her to? She went to Cedars in L.A.
36,000.
Candy, anybody else? Chat, comments?
100,000. Oh my God, more than 100,000 to have a baby. Look, y'all better listen. Don't look. We
Listen,
got
I, I can tell you that I think what I want to say it was like I want to say 69. I might be paraphrasing, but I'm up. I'm in the right category. And she paid. She had insurance. She paid 200 and some odd dollars. She and her husband 279 out of pocket. But the point, she was mad. She said, "You know what I'm really thinking," and I think it might have been much more. I think it might have been in the. I want to say it was in the twos, but what she said was, "This is a scam because you're billing the insurance company this because I have insurance. I didn't use a hospital tampon. I didn't use none of the stuff. Like, in other words, I was in my own house in 24 hours,
right.
period." So her point was, which is well taken, because you can, you bill the insurance company this. But it's the same with plastic surgery, to answer your question. Because I cut you a check for X amount of dollars, it's an elective surgery. You're going to take the money. You're not, I believe 80% of most plastic surgeons aren't thinking about what good they can do. Now, my surgeon, I shout him out, Dr. Nicholas Nikoloff in Beverly Hills. He's amazing. He just was not. My friend went, she's like, "Oh, I want to get this." She was looking for these big breasts. He said, "I won't do that surgery for you. It's not, it won't be attractive." She was like, "What?" He did. He
You
flat
don't
out.
need all them. You don't need all them titties.
He said, with your back width and blah, 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 this would be the most aesthetically pleasing look for you. And I'm not, you can find another surgeon. And I loved
Now,
him. I was like, he's
now
not a
that's a
cowboy.
surgeon. Yeah, that's a surgeon with
And I
integrity.
say all the time, he's not a cowboy. Where I'm going to call another name because I can. Dr. Birnbaum, if he's still in business in LA, steer clear. That's a dude who operated on somebody and ripped her midline in half. With she's smaller than me by half, a back width of 32. He took this woman who was a B cup and he put, oh my lord, like 600 cc's, maybe more. And she didn't want that, but he thought, he's in there playing around. And they put the implant under the muscle and it ruptured and rolled up like carpet on top of the implant, pushed the implant down, ripped her midline where there's no cleavage at all, just like a carpet roll across like a Tootsie Roll. And it took 5 surgeries to reconstruct her to be able to do anything in the future. Five
Yeah, that's
surgeries.
awful. That is just awful. Welcome,
So
Trinity Chin.
so if I know of somebody who's whack, and if I and because people still gonna do what they're gonna do, I can tell you my experience. I put these names out there because they're personal experiences that I know of. They're things I've experienced, and if you choose, go ahead, do your thing. I mean, all I can do is tell you what I've been through and then just tell you that some things are not really worth it. But you still have to make a decision as an adult.
Now, we're at the same time you're dealing with everything on your stomach. What about because you were getting also they were doing the stomach portion. How was the skinny BBL? What was
No,
going on in the bed?
that was fine. That was fine.
Okay,
But
you
but
healed good from
again,
that.
yeah, that was okay. But yeah, the healing was because it's skinny. Like, in other words, when you see me, you don't think, what did what the hell?
Look, you don't think what Marla dragging that wagon. You don't
No,
think that, huh?
not at all. Because again, that for me, it was for me, plastic surgery is restoration. But again, it is still plastic surgery.
Uh-huh.
So, I didn't have any, I've had no issues there. None. But who asked me that? My friend just freaking asked me that 2 weeks ago. She's like, "Girl, when you were in Hawaii, were you wearing a thong?" I was like, "No." She's like, "You're such a waste. You're just a waste." I was like, "I'm not. I just, for me, in other words, it's not about that for me. I'm not trying to be a stripper. I'm not trying, that's not a goal for me to figure out how I can sculpt myself to be nude. You know what I'm saying? That's not it.
Mhm.
But when things are completely, and it's like, well, you're already there, go ahead. That's how I felt about the skinny BBLs. Like, and I said to the doctor again, I said, if there's, whatever, fat transfer you want to do, it just has to be, super moderate because again, you know, regular person, athlete, work out every day, you know, play sports, do all the things. I'm not trying to be a cover girl. So, I don't want a waist the size of a pencil and, the ass the size of a caboose. I'm good. That's
Yeah.
not going to work for me. I don't want to look like, I don't want to walk down the street and have people be like, what, look at her.
Yeah, you don't want to walk around looking like a caricature of what
No,
they think black women should
no.
be shaped like, which is that's an issue that a lot of black women that are getting these BBLs and getting their bodies done, these builder bodies done, they're trying to go and get what they think a black woman should be shaped. Like, oh, every black woman needs to be a brick house and shaped like this or that. And it's like, let's have some individuality. You don't have to look like everyone else. And yeah, and then a lot of women can't even afford what they're trying to get done. That's another thing. You guys are going to chop shops and people, and so much so that you're going to someone's basement and they putting down something they got at Home Depot into your body.
Cement, yep, all kind of stuff. And that's and unfortunately, and I'm, this is where I would be apologetic for even being a participant because that is the trend. And then when things are trending, which is what we see, everybody goes there. Kim Kardashian started the trend. Um, Technically, I mean, J Lo was the first acceptance of a certain look, but the Kardashians started the trend. And everybody felt like they had to have that. In my recovery home, I was one of two black women out of eight. Everybody else was not. They were an other,
Hmm.
mostly white. Um, so, people see this and this is where they go. But a lot of work gets done a lot of times in this industry, and you just don't know it until it's botched, until
Until
it
it's
turns
botched.
till it turns out crazy, and then people like, what the hell
And I'm
happened
gonna
to
show
you?
you guys some crazy. I'm gonna show you some crazy. Tamika, what you have to say? Yeah, I got some pictures pulled up. Tamika, what you have to say about all this?
Ms. Marla, I do want to say thank you because I didn't know too much about none of this because I'm not into it, and if I was, I'm too scared. Now, however, you said that you got a skinny BBL. What is that? I'm sorry, I didn't know what that was.
Basically, Tamika, you that is a thing. You could look it up, but essentially, you're not looking to just create this enormous buttocks and your butt. So I have to just say this as an example that we can all see and that we all know that we can always use as reference. So Jaden Alexis, okay, that's a horrible BBL. They just filled her butt projectile with fat. They did not,
Hmm.
because they did not shape her hips and they did not make a BBL that was complementary to her legs.
To her shape, to her natural shape.
Exactly. So I'm a 5'8". When matter of fact, people people are shocked because they see you on TV, then they see you in person, and they're like, "Wow, you're actually tall." I- I'm a 5'8" woman. I'm 5'8" and I weigh 150 pounds, right? Naturally. So my legs are very proportionate in length to what it would be for my butt. But if my butt is huge and I don't have any hip, so I go from a long leg to a projectile buttocks, that's a horrible BB. That's not shapely. So that's why you laugh. It looks like Jaden's legs are stuck into her body because that was just hey, let me just find some fat somewhere and just emulsify it and stick it in your butt. So another thing that people would need to know is that if you do something like that, your butt has your own transferred fat. If you lose weight, you're gonna lose weight in your butt. If you gain weight, you're gonna gain weight in your butt.
Wow. So let me show this real quick. Let me show you this real quick. Mm-mm. Now, I'm going to show you someone that should have had a skinny BBL, but instead, this is what they got. Oh, hold on. Oh, no, no. Never mind, because it's going straight to music. So let me just, but I'm going to show you the picture. I'll show you the picture, and hopefully you guys can see it. You guys see this? Now,
Yeah, we
what's going
see it.
on here? What's going on there? This
So
is the
that
clear.
reminds me,
Yeah.
sorry. So that reminds me of Jaden. So this is a skinny, what did y'all call it? A skinny.
No, that ain't no skinny
No,
BBL.
that's
That's
not a
somebody
skinny.
that's
That's not a skinny BBL. She's skinny. That's not a skinny. That's just a botched
a
period.
botched job.
Her hips aren't even
Yeah,
asymmetrical.
like her hips. Like they didn't do her hips. Because as you were
Yeah,
saying, Miss
one hip
Marla,
is one direction and the
yeah.
other. That's not right. That's just effed up.
You know, let me know. And you better speak now, forever hold y'all peace, because y'all know how I do. We here for a good time, not a long time.
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
So do you have any what what advice would you give someone who's considering it? So
The
that I think
advice,
that'll be good on
the
our way
advice,
out.
the advice would be good. Here's my best advice. My best advice is all plastic surgery is not bad plastic surgery.
Right.
But I would absolutely insist on speaking to a personal reference. Not one, not two, but three people who have been under the knife of this doctor and have a different time gestation to share. For example, it may feel great. The surgery experience may be great, but the healing sucked, or they
Hmm.
scarred, or get a full scope of somebody who has been pleased at least 2 years post-op.
Exactly. Ask them how if they're happy with their results. Ask them, okay, what was the aftercare like?
Yep.
Did the doctor or the facility reach out to you? Do they send someone to check in on you, or do they require you to come in a certain amount of times to check on you to see how you're doing and look you
Right.
over, make sure you don't have any bloating, infection, pus, anything like that. And I know it sounds gross, but it's for real, y'all.
No, that's real.
Because because when you sign those papers, you give them carte blanche for anything to take place. Anything can happen, and you're not going to have any repercussions. If things go bad, you have to know that you won't be able to do anything if things go bad. People lose their lives doing unnecessary plastic surgery, and when that happens, your family won't be able to advocate for you in the court because you signed those papers. Even if you go to if I know a lot of people do things. Oh, I'm researching online, and I'm obsessing over this provider's website. Oh, and I searched and I investigated because look how many before and after pictures they have on their website. You guys have to realize that's their website. They're only
Right.
going to put the excellent results on their website.
That is correct. That's a great point, Candy. That's a great point.
That's their website. That
And and
website
if and
is
if you
not there for you. That's
and if
their
you
promotional tools.
and if you look, what you also should do, that would be my second bit of advice. Any doctor, even if they didn't win a lawsuit, if they have a medical strike, the complaints get posted in a place that cannot be denied. Right? So in other words, if you go look somebody up, you can look them up under wherever your local, uh, it's like having a board of review and figure this out before you, along with talking to personal people. Does this doctor have a record?
Right.
You will find it. Do your quick research. You'll find it.
Yep. So Sharon says, Miss Marla, that's a blessing to have a great husband. And Gold Digger has a question. She says, Miss Marla, will you always have the contractions that you mentioned? Is that a permanent side effect?
Right now, I would have to say yes. They're still doing work, like they're doing. I've had injections. I've also done an ultrasound to break up the scar tissue, and then he's going to do a scar revision, probably in the next year. But they had to first let my stomach relax as much as it was going to relax, so they could get the desired result.
Hmm.
So yeah.
And
Go ahead, Tamika.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. And Miss Marla, okay, I do have a question. Okay, having two grown daughters right now, when you got your surgeries done and your procedures and things like that, they wasn't above age to get anything of that sort, right?
Yes, they are. Matter of fact, I
At that time that you got the surgery.
at that time I broke protocol. I started hearing online that Monique was going to have surgery, and
Uh,
I sent her my pictures and said, I I have caught wind that this is what you're trying to do. I'm warning you to be very careful. It's
okay,
not
that
a
was my next question.
it's
Like that was
it's
the
it's
follow-up question.
it's not a joke. Like, so I tried to tell, because even when she had her breast implants, I said, Monique, Monique is by nature, she's a tiny person. She's 5'2".
Hmm.
She's little, and I'm like, please don't. I didn't want her keeping up, trying to think that she was competing with the Nickies and the people of the world, because Monique naturally is a very beautiful person physically,
Yes.
and so but all I can do is tell her, and I just shared my mistake, and said, just in case you need this information, in my
Here you go. Now your
right. So I
second
tried.
daughter, did your experience scared her, or she just
Well,
took
she
it
was.
as
She's not going. She's
informative?
not going. She's not going down that road anyway. My second daughter is like she's Dave. My second daughter and my husband are identical twins. She's like they are. I am their muse. I'm their comedy fodder in this family. Matter of fact, just for fun and shits and giggles, when I FaceTime the baby grandson. Now he's 6 months old, and whenever he hears my voice, he starts immediately cracking up. I don't have to say anything. I just
He's
say,
like, "Oh, that's the funny lady on
yeah.
the."
He starts flat out giggling. Like, there she is. This is our family jester. Here she goes. But anyway, no, yeah, Lexi's not going there. So Lexi's not had any surgeries at all, and probably never will. And you know what? And I even give both Moniece and Lexi credit for, I don't think, you know, I part of me is regretful, because I think that there's a large part of Moniece that always has fought to kind of mimic me, but just hasn't found her center. It's the best way I can put that. So, in other words, it looks like a lot of times we may even be doing the same things, but where we're coming from are two different places, and that's the unfortunate part. So that kind of hurts me, because you know yes, I had kids young and you had kids young, but it's different for you than it's different for me. Yes, I had surgery, you had surgery. It's different for you than it's different for me, because we're different people. But I think that because I'm her mother that made those moves, openly with my family, that was kind of like, an expected norm. So I have to take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, because that's the answer that I was looking for. It's like no.
Okay. And one last thing before we get out of here, because we touched on your family's reaction, your husband. You're a very open person and very transparent. What did your friends? What was the reaction of your friend?
Um, One friend was kind of really upset. And that's the friend that I trained personally. And she was like, man, you changed my whole vision of myself. She had no self-esteem, blah, 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 blah. And I just can't believe that of all people you did that. And I said, I totally get it.
So she
And
was a little upset with you that
she was pretty
that you
she
risked
was
yourself.
she's pretty upset. And the thing about it is this. I can't move on if the biggest thing in life, and I'm gonna just let this be my final statement. The biggest thing in life, the deepest, hardest thing in life for anyone is to be accountable for your choices, accept and forgive yourself, because we all make poor choices at some freaking point based
Right.
on something. And I've learned to do that, because if I beat myself up, it doesn't change anything. It's not going to save anything. It's just going to keep me in a very dark place, and I'm not going to be able to be productive. And so now what I have is I can tell you that my decision making process, as somebody in my mid 50s, having recently and still in the middle of uh, uh, menopause, as a matter of fact, I'll put this out there. One of the things that I do still, which I had to find somebody now to redo, is pellet therapy for my menopause situation. And that is not covered as well under insurance. And I will have my pellets reinserted on Thursday this week. So I'll check back in with you guys. But that's something that has worked very well for me. And they make a little incision in your butt and they inject, based on your blood work, pellets that will help with your hormone balance. And it's super necessary for me. I was
You
sick
know
to
what?
death.
We
Yes.
definitely have to have a show about that, Marla, in an update because I mean I know a lot of us here in the chat and a lot of the subscribers and people listening through, a lot of us around the same age group. And if you can teach us something that's working for you, we're all about passing on the information. Because look, I might need a pellet because look, these sweats at the night be tearing me up nowadays. These sweats is tearing me. Look, I and the thing of it is, what's so funny is I'm a person that naturally like I literally, like my family, my mom, every day, I don't sweat. Like I'm not a
Right.
sweater. I never have been. I could be outside as a kid running
Mm-hmm.
around.
You're like me.
I don't sweat. I don't drip sweat. I don't
Right.
sweat. I,
Neither.
if I'm really exerting myself, I may get moist, but
Yes.
I don't sweat.
That's me.
Like my mom, I was out with my mom this past weekend and I just broke out into a sweat. My mom was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Candace." I was like,
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, because
So
that just doesn't happen to me.
well,
So,
I had a very good, I also have, there are different doctors. And to be honest, if you live in a progressive city, and that is a benefit, to be honest, of just, I will just say influence. But the minute something's happening, there's always somebody in LA that's going to fix you on a celebrity level to do whatever. Right. But he was great, recommended by many, many people that we all know. And I
mhm.
went there and I had pellet implants done 2 times. Then I ended up moving. But then I would still do my doctor work a lot of the times in LA, but then it's just getting to be too crazy. So when I went on the jazz cruise, which was I ended the last of February, the beginning of March, I was a lunatic. Dave was like, okay, honey, Marla,
So we're
I
gonna definitely do a show
yeah, we
about
got
this,
we
you
got
guys.
we got
We
to do that.
definitely
So
are.
yeah, so we definitely have to do that. But the bottom line is, yes, that's something that that's
Cause
cosmetic. I'm just
uh,
saying that it's considered. It's not. You can't go to your GYN and say, "Hey, give me pellets." For the most part, pellet therapy is a whole nother ball game, but it
wow.
works. So it puts everything back in order. Then the things that you do naturally that worked. Again, I've never been a heavy woman. Blah blah blah. So the bottom line is, I'm still willing to responsibly respond to what I need.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thank you so much, Marla, for coming in and having this conversation with us, spreading some knowledge. I appreciate you very much for your transparency and allowing us that peek into, what was a traumatic time for you. We appreciate you coming through. Thank you so much, Coco, for the super chat. I appreciate you very much. Um, Coco is having a show because we definitely got to get out here. Coco is having a show in literally 5 minutes, you guys.
Okay.
So we're going to keep the party going, and it's definitely going to be entertaining because Coco, put it in the chat. Coco is doing a series where we're talking about these messy ministers and the
Oh,
womanizing that goes on behind in the church. So I
okay.
forget his name, of the preacher that we went over the other day, but tonight is Bishop Eddie Long. So we definitely gonna do a deep dive into all this drama in these mega churches with these men of the cloth. So you guys, in just 4 minutes now, put the link in the chat, Coco, if you can. So we're gonna be headed over there. Once again, thank you guys so much for all your support coming through. Hey, Day Day, I see you slipping in at the end, girl. Um, but thank you guys so much for your support. We had a great show, and it's all because of you guys tuning in and participating, and you are very much appreciated, you guys. So we'll see you
Thanks
over
for
on
having me.
Coco's show. Yes, thank you so much, Marla. And we will see you in the morning. We have a morning show, 8:30 Central Standard Time. So come on through, you guys. And then, of course, we have our evening show, 6:40 p.m. Central Standard Time as well. So if you can make both, come on through. If you can make one or the other, yeah, there you go. We got something for everybody. Okay, you guys. Have a wonderful remainder of your evening. See you over at Coco Drips. Bye.
Bye.